Sup, it's me, No Say again, and let's talk about this new game by Ubisoft. Another FPS free-to-play game that's been talked about by many people in the FPS community. Well, my first take on this one is very entertaining gameplay and mechanics. And at some point, it's being labeled as the COD killer. Well, it does have the gameplay of COD, but the abilities and mode have something similar to Overwatch. The game is really fast-paced, and if a normal player will try this game, it's really hard to keep up since you really need to use the mobility mechanics efficiently for making a play. For that reason, it made the game really chaotic. I mean, chaos to the point where you can't predict what's going to happen next. It's like, go rush, farm kills, push, YOLO baby. Well, for me, when it comes to tactical, it's not really close to what COD achieved. But don't get me wrong, it's solid gameplay. But there is some sort of imbalance in gunplay that the developer should adjust. I mean, look what other FPS did. You really need to grind up for good guns and attachments. But at some point in this game, there are guns that are pretty solid already, with fewer attachments. And there are some factions like the Cleaners, who do pyro stuff that zones out enemies easily, and the Echelon, who do assassinations that can give you an easy win. Yes, the factions are very imbalanced. I don't like how the factions are made. They should be equally distributed, and there are goals that aren't matched to these factions' utility that can cause imbalanced gameplay. Cleaners are pretty OP. Those incendiary rounds are annoying in the game. Like if you already own a buffed gun, plus the incendiary round's passive skill of Cleaners, it will 100% outplay you in the game. Echelons with their camo is a good tactic too. I usually abuse the double barrel gameplay with them, which gives me an easy 1 kill-death ratio to win the objective. Libertads are the common ones. They heal for you and close allies. It's not OP because they didn't make the healing range longer so it could support the team, but the ultimate can withstand many enemies. It'll make you immortal. Phantoms are also the common faction. Nothing special, just shields, and the ultimate is a banger. Probably good for objectives, but can be easily killed by Echelon's flank. So yes, factions are imbalanced for me. They should add every faction a specialty that will make it important in the game. Like in every game, they should exist. Or else, once players know that these kinds of factions are pretty OP, they will just spam use them and ignore the common ones. As I play the game, players stick to some OP guns, which will kill the objectives of the game. For example, in Escort, on a wide map, players tend to use snipers because they can one-shot the enemy team. No one really likes to play the Phantom that can push with the delivery. I mean, there are some, but the majority play the KDA gameplay, as the enemy team sometimes uses annoying strats like the camo and double barrel combo. How can you escort with it peacefully if you'll get backstabbed by those Echelons in camo? If you're a rifle or SMG user, you'll be 100% outgunned by shotguns, LMGs, and snipers, plus those annoying incendiary rounds. Maybe things are going to get serious if they rank, but if we put the scenario to it, yes, it's still imbalanced. For the modes, I get that it's likely an Overwatch mechanic. It's addictive if you're enjoying those kinds of stuff that I've mentioned earlier. But for normal players, it's repetitive gameplay. But since it's just a recently released game, I'm pretty sure they'll add some more twists and fix those imbalances in the game. The maps are good though. There's a lot of way out, more paths that can be unpredictable for the enemy, and I think they're balanced too. I don't have anything to say about the maps because I think they're well-made maps for the game. And of course, some of the maps came from some of Ubisoft's games. Your experience in the game will most likely be destroyed by other players who play aggressively with OP guns and factions. I know this because I myself tried to play double barrel with max attachments and Echelon as the character. The enemy team is having a hard time pushing an escort, instant kill, then easy out with camo. But if your eyes and hearing ability are pretty solid in FPS games, the camo ability is not a big deal for you. You can easily kill Echelon, but for some it's going to be a hard game. Try to check out this game that I recorded using the Echelon character with a double-barreled shotgun. It's pretty OP, and will continuously destroy the gameplay of others. I mean, it's part of the game, but it's a huge advantage to progress in the game. Here, I'm using the rear grip of Quick Draw and a lightweight stock that boosts mobility and firepower. It matches the gameplay style of Echelons, who's very quick and has camo ability. Here's the clip.
I can't condone it, but I get it. Friendly's going for Zone B.
Active camo!
I think you got the drop on them.
It can literally one-shot you with the right angle, aim, and distance. If you've mastered its range, then you can easily backstab anyone with this kind of gameplay. And this is an example of imbalances in the game. Part of the game, but pretty OP, I achieved that double-barreled build with a low level of it. So early hours of playing the game, it's one of the superior things in XDefiant but cringe, right?
Capture zone secured. Friendly's on B.
Active camo!
Appreciate the subtle approach. Hostile numbers declining rapidly. Five.
So my conclusion to this game is that it's a nice game, very addictive, and I really enjoyed playing it, but I hope they put some updates to the game that will make it a fair play for everyone. Also, the game doesn't really stand out from other FPS games. In my opinion, it's still an option, not the main game for a player. I mean, everyone should put some effort into the game and make use of each faction in every game. Also, the title COD Killer doesn't really fit this game. It's a decent game, but the title is wrong. Let's treat this game as a different one, and it's not really comparable to big names, because it's very far away. Imbalances can be fixed as time goes by, and I hope they should add more interesting mechanics to the gameplay, and not be as repetitive with those 5 modes. The maps are amazing, and the movements are deceptive, so I hope this game will have more improvement in the future because it has potential as a FPS game. I'm hoping for a massive update on this game, and to make it a real contender to COD and other FPS games.